I told my adoptive mother the truth about why I found my biological sister. She'd spent 30 years telling people I chose blood over the family that raised me. So for context, I'm 34. I was adopted at birth. My adoptive parents were good people, not perfect, but good. My adoptive mom, Janet, made it her whole personality that she saved me. I heard that word a lot growing up. When I was 26, I hired a DNA service and found my biological sister, Renee. We had the same birth mother, different fathers, and she'd been given up 6 months before I was. We connected over email first, then phone calls, then she flew out to visit me. It was one of the strangest and most natural things that's ever happened to me. Like meeting someone you already know. I told Janet about Renee right away. I didn't hide it. I thought she'd understand. Instead, she cried for 3 days and told my aunt that I'd gone looking for my real family like our family wasn't real. She told her friends at church that I'd chosen blood over the people who raised me. A few of them reached out to me directly just to let me know how hurt Janet was. One of them said, "Your mother gave you everything and now you're throwing it back in her face." I pulled back from Janet after that. Not completely, but enough. We'd talk on the phone every couple of weeks, have dinner on holidays. She'd ask polite questions about Renee with this tight smile that meant she was still keeping score. I stopped bringing Renee up at all. This went on for 6 years. 3 months ago, Renee came to visit again. She'd found something while going through her own records. Paperwork from the agency. Apparently when I was 7 months old, a woman had called the agency asking about me. She'd given a first name, described herself as a relative, asked if the placement was going well. The agency couldn't confirm anything but noted the call. The name she gave was Janet. Janet had called to check on me before she ever adopted me. She'd been on a waiting list. She'd specifically requested an infant from the same agency where she'd placed a pre-adoption inquiry 8 months earlier. I was not a random match. She'd been tracking me. I didn't say anything to Janet for 2 months. I just sat with it. Then her birthday came around and I drove out to her house with flowers and a card and a lasagna because that's what I always do. And she opened the door and she was already in a mood. She'd had some people over the night before apparently, and someone had asked about Renee and Janet had said her thing. Her line. The one about me choosing blood over family. Apparently, and someone had asked about Renee and Janet had said her thing. I set the lasagna down on her kitchen counter and I said, "Mom, why did you call the agency when I was 7 months old?" She went completely still. Then she said she didn't know what I was talking about. I told her what Renee had found. The date, the name, the description. Janet turned around and started wiping down her already clean stove. She said, "I just wanted to make sure you were okay." I asked her why she'd never told me. She said, "Because it wasn't relevant." I said, "You've been telling people for 6 years that I abandoned you by finding Renee. You never once told me you'd been looking for me first." She put the sponge down. She said something about it not being the same thing, that she was worried about me, that she was already approved and waiting and she just wanted to know I was healthy. She said, "I wasn't tracking you. I loved you before I even knew you." And I stood there for a second because part of me actually understood that. Part of me even thought it was kind of beautiful in a strange obsessive way. But then I thought about every church lady who'd called me to deliver Janet's feelings. I thought about 6 years of that tight smile across holiday tables. I thought about the word saved. I said, "Then why did you let me spend 6 years thinking I'd done something wrong by finding a person who was literally born from the same woman I was? Why did you never tell me you went looking too?" She didn't have an answer for that. She picked the sponge back up. I left the lasagna. I left the flowers. I got in my car and I drove home and I called Renee and I told her everything. She was quiet for a minute. Then she said, "So she understood the need to find family. She just didn't want you to have it." I haven't called Janet since. She texted me last week, said she misses me and that she hopes I know she loves me. I didn't respond. I'm still thinking about what Renee said and whether that's exactly right or just close enough to right that it doesn't matter. She called my aunt yesterday. Told her I went looking for my real family again.